Today's lecture is on academic integrity and will include information on the Code of Student Conduct and academic misconduct. Information in this lecture is adopted from the Student Affairs website and the Committee on Academic Misconduct's website. As a land-grant institution, Ohio State has three core missions. These missions are to conduct research for the advancement of society, to provide students with quality teaching and an opportunity to become lifelong learners, and to provide service to our local and global community. Important to the protection of this vision is the concept of academic freedom. Academic freedom is the opportunity to hold opinions based on the best evidence one has and to speak those opinions without fear of reprisal. Academic freedom also guarantees free and open discussion, a liberty to read what you want, to debate any issue, to defend new views and reinterpret or criticize old ones in an open forum. Academic freedom thrives in an environment in which an open exchange of ideas and opinions exists for all members of the university. The Code of Student Conduct is in place to create such a safe environment and thus protect the core missions of The Ohio State University. The Code of Student Conduct is a set of rules and principles that govern a student's behavior during their tenure at Ohio State. The code is made up of a variety of policies and procedures that intend to provide a safe and secure environment for the entire campus community. This safe environment is necessary for the free flow of new ideas and challenging thoughts, which in turn support the missions of the university. The code fosters the scholarly and civic development of the university's students and protects the people, properties, and processes that support the university. The code applies to the on-campus conduct of all students and registered student organizations, including behavior in the classroom, residence halls, and university facilities, as well as conduct online on university computers and network resources. It is important to note that the Code of Student Conduct does not lose relevance outside the physical campus borders. The code also applies to the off-campus behavior of students and registered student organizations. Students who are pursuing credit-bearing experiences at other institutions, participating in course-required field trips and excursions, interning, student teaching, or studying abroad are held to Ohio State's Code of Student Conduct. Any activity related to the pursuit of a degree, for example, conducting research, is governed by the code. The Code of Student Conduct applies to any activity, regardless of location, that is sponsored by or conducted by the university or a registered student organization. Beyond academic activities and university-sanctioned events, the code also applies to any activities on or off campus that causes or threatens destruction or harm to university persons or property, and any activities that result in involvement with the legal system through the filing of a police report, the issuance of a summons or indictment, or an arrest for violent crime. The code cites specifically prohibited behaviors, such as academic misconduct, which will be defined further in this lecture, the storage or possession of dangerous weapons, destruction of property, disorderly or disruptive conduct, endangering the safety, physical or mental health or life of any person, hazing, the use, production, distribution, sale, or possession of drugs or alcohol in a manner prohibited by law, sexual misconduct, theft or the unauthorized use of university property, resources, or services, unauthorized entrance to or presence in or on university premises. Any student found to have engaged or attempted to engage in any of the conducts listed while within the university's jurisdiction will be subject to disciplinary action by the university. While this list provides a good overview of many prohibited behaviors, students should review the full Code of Student Conduct on the Office of Student Life's website for a comprehensive understanding of prohibited conduct. The Code of Student Conduct is administered by two separate entities at the university. The Office of Student Conduct administers the non-academic conduct code. They assist students by investigating and responding to situations in which someone may have violated the code, including bias incidents. The Committee on Academic Misconduct, referred to as COAM, administers the Academic Conduct Code. COAM is charged with maintaining the academic integrity of the university by establishing procedures for investigating and adjudicating all reported cases of alleged academic misconduct by students. We will take a closer look at COAM and its processes later in this lecture after we turn our attention to academic misconduct. In higher education, the concept of academic misconduct is extremely important to understand. The Code of Student Conduct defines academic misconduct as any activity that tends to compromise the academic integrity of the university or subvert the educational process. While many people associate academic misconduct with cheating, the term actually encompasses a wider scope of student behaviors. We will now examine a variety of behaviors that constitute academic misconduct. Examples of academic misconduct include, but are not limited to, the following. Violating course rules. For example, the math department restricts the type of calculator that can be used in exams. Use of an unauthorized calculator would violate the course rules. Providing or receiving information during quizzes and exams. If an instructor believes you to be acting suspiciously during a quiz or exam, you're checking your phone for the time, shuffling papers, rearranging your bags, he or she may refer the situation to COAM. Similarly, if your friend takes an exam before you, they cannot tell you what questions to expect on the examination. Providing or receiving unauthorized assistance on a course assignment in the laboratory or in fieldwork is also prohibited. Falsifying research results also constitutes academic misconduct. It is not acceptable to make up your chemistry lab results rather than actually conducting the lab experiment. If your friend is exceptional in accounting and you ask her to take your accounting exam for you, you have enlisted a ringer, which constitutes academic misconduct. Many instructors will require you to bring your Buck ID to the exam to verify your identity to ensure that this form of cheating cannot take place. Submitting substantially the same work to satisfy requirements for one course that has been submitted to satisfy the requirements for another course is another form of academic misconduct. The integrity of the Ohio State degree is upheld in part by ensuring that students do not receive credit for the same work twice. Allowing such a shortcut diminishes the value of your education. In addition, altering grades or using university add-drop forms in a deceitful manner will be grounds for academic misconduct allegations. The submission of plagiarized work, in part or whole, also constitutes academic misconduct. Now let's look at specific terms associated with academic misconduct. One of the most often committed forms of academic misconduct is that of plagiarism. Plagiarism is the representation of another's work or ideas as one's own. While many people think that plagiarism is simply word-for-word copying, even paraphrasing can constitute plagiarism if credit is not given to the original work. In order to avoid accusations of plagiarism, it is imperative that proper citation is used. Students are responsible for proper citations and should be aware of what citation format they are expected to use. Popular formats include MLA and APA. You should check with your instructor regarding the format that should be used in each class. If you are unsure of how to properly cite materials, it is recommended that you purchase either an MLA or APA manual or visit the Purdue Online Writing Lab website, also known as OWL. An example of proper citation can be found here on this slide. This definition of plagiarism has been taken directly from the Committee on Academic Misconduct's website, and we have properly acknowledged that this work is not our own. At times, students may find situations in which they are completing similar assignments and decide to work together. Unless your instructor has specifically given you permission to work on an assignment or project in a group setting, you should assume that this collaboration would constitute academic misconduct. Students are expected to do their own work for all assignments unless specifically instructed to work together. If you collaborate in an unauthorized group work, then you are committing a type of academic misconduct known as collusion. Another common type of academic misconduct is that of copying. Copying is taking the work of another student and representing it as one's own. If you forget to complete your math homework and quickly write down the answers from your roommate's answers, you have copied their work. The difference between copying and collusion falls in the nature of how the work is completed. If one student completes the work and another turns that work in as their own, this is copying. If two students work together in an unauthorized manner, this is collusion. Now that you are familiar with some of the terms associated with academic misconduct, we will turn our attention to the Committee on Academic Misconduct and its processes. The Committee on Academic Misconduct, referred to as COAM, administers the Academic Conduct Code. COAM is charged with maintaining the academic integrity of the university by establishing procedures for investigating and adjudicating all reported cases of alleged academic misconduct by students. The committee is made up of faculty members, graduate students, and undergraduate students. These representatives help ensure fairness in the misconduct process. Should at any time you be suspected of committing academic misconduct, your case will be referred to COAM. In the event that an instructor believes a student to have committed academic misconduct, they are required to report this to COAM. After being contacted about the alleged instance of academic misconduct, COAM will review all materials and make an initial determination to move forward with the case. In the event that COAM determines that there is sufficient evidence to proceed with the case, the committee will notify the student of the allegations of academic misconduct. It is important to know that an instructor is not required to inform a student that they have been referred to COAM. The committee will handle all necessary communications regarding the academic misconduct case. COAM will then consult with the student about the allegations. At this point, the student can proceed in one of two ways. Should the student agree to the allegations of academic misconduct, they can elect to proceed with an administrative decision. In the administrative decision process, the student waives their right to a formal hearing and submits a written statement reflecting their view of the incident, and a decision on the case, including any subsequent sanctions, is made by a hearing officer. Should the student disagree with the allegations of academic misconduct, COAM will schedule a panel hearing to resolve these allegations. At this hearing, all evidence is presented, and both the instructor and student have the opportunity to present their side of the story. After the hearing is concluded, the student and instructor are notified of the committee's decision and any subsequent sanctions. In the event that a student is found to have committed academic misconduct, it is likely that a grade sanction will apply. Grade sanctions can include a 0 on the assignment in question, a reduction of a student's final letter grade in the course, or a combination of these sanctions. Students can also receive a failing grade in the course if the incident of academic misconduct warrants such penalty. It is important to note that students should continue to attend class and complete all work while there is a pending academic misconduct case. Failure to do so could result in the student failing the course, even in an instance where a student is found not guilty of academic misconduct, or was given a sanction that would otherwise not have resulted in a final course grade of E. Even if a student drops the class in question, the academic misconduct allegations will still be investigated by COAM. In addition to grade sanctions, students found guilty of academic misconduct will receive a disciplinary sanction as they have violated the Code of Student Conduct. These disciplinary sanctions apply to all violations of the Student Code of Conduct previously discussed in this lecture. Undergraduate students in violation of the Code of Student Conduct for the first time typically receive a letter of reprimand or disciplinary probation. In cases where the violations of the code are egregious or the student has previous violations of the Code of Student Conduct, the committee may suspend or dismiss the student. Now that you understand the many types of academic misconduct that exist and the sanctions that can result, it is important to take active steps to uphold academic integrity. Remember that you are responsible for your education and the actions that you take during your time at Ohio State. Take pride in doing your own work and be sure to protect it. It can be difficult not to give in to peer pressure when your roommate just wants to double check his math answers or a classmate just didn't have time to finish the last few lab problems. But keep in mind that doing so could constitute academic misconduct. A friend's lack of preparation is not your responsibility to manage, and committing academic misconduct can be detrimental to your academic career. Always complete your assignments individually unless specifically given permission to work in groups by your instructor. Acknowledge the sources you use when completing assignments. This means you need to take the time to learn proper citation techniques. Remember, resources exist to help you understand APA and MLA formatting. Manage your time effectively so that you are not rushing to meet a deadline. Failing to plan sufficient time to complete assignments puts students at an increased risk of taking shortcuts, such as copying a roommate's work or plagiarizing for a paper. Read your syllabus to make sure you are following all class rules, and make sure to clarify any questions that you have with the instructor. You are now equipped with the tools necessary to uphold the Code of Student Conduct. For more detailed information on the Code of Student Conduct, please refer to the full text version of the code on the Office of Student Life's website.